What's up Facebook? What's up YouTube? Today I'm going to be doing a thermostat on my Mercedes along with replacing the coolant hoses, the upper and lower radiator hoses. And with that being said, I've already kind of started it and decided to say, hey, let's just start the video now. So this is a little bit backwards, but hey, that's okay. We're going to get to it. But so far I've got the upper and lower radiator hoses disconnected. And from here, we're going to work on getting this thermostat housing out of the car and checking it out. Tools, you don't really need a whole lot, just a basic socket set, a flathead screwdriver, which I have a really big one that I like to use, and then of course a temp gun because sometimes the temperature gauges aren't good. I also like to check the upper and lower radiator hose temperatures to make sure that everything's nice and happy, so getting one of these is a good idea. I got this one on eBay for less than $10 shipped, and it does a pretty good job actually. Do this service when you're maintaining the hoses or anything like that, because it's a good opportunity to get these hoses off. Now I couldn't get the flathead in here, and I can't seem to find my socket for this, so I'm just using a 7mm wrench. It's going to take some time, but I got all the time in the world for this. It's not a big rush. We're underneath the car here. We're going to get this bottom part taken out. All right, this is where it gets really scary. You want to make sure this is loose. Okay, this is where it's going to get scary. All right, look at that. See, no resistance. It's coming right off. So we don't need any rust penetrant on this situation. So we're going to go ahead and get this bolt out and the other ones, and then this will pop right off. Of course, it's going to dump coolant all over this dry belt, but we're going to let that dry off and we'll clean it up as best as we can. Luckily, we've already drained the coolant and got the hoses out, so we're not going to have too big of a problem there. I'm also going to have to kind of clean off the outlet there, so that way the hose makes a good seal. I had to get a wobbly boy in here because that's a tight fit. I tried getting it with a wrench, but I didn't want to strip it, so sometimes you just got to play it safe. And this wobbly does wobble, but as you can see here, this fan blade's kind of in the way, so that's kind of what makes it hard. So we're going to get this bolt out and then pry this off. Got the thermostat housing out. This actually looks pretty good. I don't know, that looks oddly suspicious how clean it is, but I'm not going to complain. We're going to take it out anyway. I got coolant all over the place because that's just what happens when you take the thermostat housing out. I'm actually pretty close to just replacing this hose. That needs to be done too, but I'll get to that another day. But we're going to go ahead and scrape off this old gasket and get to work. So we're going to get in here and scrape off the old gasket because we don't want that causing a problem with the seal. This isn't like a hard job, but you don't want the old gasket causing any problems. So we're going to have to kind of get this crud off. But first steps, I'm going to take this thermostat out with this pick tool here. Got to be real careful, but I think we'll get it just as long as we're real patient with it. It should just let us. I don't want to pry too hard. I don't want this to hurt the I don't want it to hurt the housing. I say it's kind of in there. So I'm gonna work at this for a little bit and get this out. Got the housing cleaned up, but we do have some pitting on this, so I'm gonna replace this at some point, and I'm just gonna clamp it and hope it seals, but we'll see. Waller. Oh, okay, so somebody did replace this with an aftermarket. You can see it says Waller, so they went with a good one. But when it comes to cooling system stuff, I always recommend OEM parts because you don't want to cheap out on that. All right, got the thermostat in. Bolts are nice and snug. It didn't go too tight because one time I over tightened the bolts on the where are they at? I can't see with this camera. Oh yeah, right there. Down below here, there were some bolts that were kind of, guys, I don't know if I can get under here. Let's see. Right there, I over tightened it on the other side, and I had to take it to a shop to get that fixed, but I over tightened those bolts and it sheared off, and that was a big pain in the ass. But regardless, I got that in. I reused the hose clamps, which I don't know if I'm going to regret that later or not, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and clean up this and then go and get it started and bleed the system. We're going to use this incline to our advantage. So this is already good to go here. We got the coolant filled up. Obviously that level is going to drop, and I do have fresh coolant to go in. So it's been a while since I've started this car, so Fingers crossed it still starts. Sometimes the starter acts up, so about to find out. Make sure. Oh yeah, we got everything up top. Let's go ahead and grab that radiator cap so that way it doesn't fall off when we're backing up, because we don't need to worry about that. So we'll set this guy right here for now. That is new, by the way. It's always important to replace your radiator caps when you're doing this. So, all right, let's go. First time in like over a week that I've started this thing, so make sure the heat's on, max heat. Go ahead and get that heat. We'll let the glow plug cycle a little bit longer than I normally do, but you know, it's been a while. All right, start it right up. All right, okay, we're gonna put it on this incline here. All right, put the brake on, and let's go ahead and roll this window down and get to it. Once this thermostat opens, I'll get some pressure in this hose. I don't have any pressure right now. Down here, we've got pressure on this hose, but the reason why I'm parked at an incline is so that way the air works its way up. And if you try to park the car like this, then it's not gonna bleed the air out of the system. So this is kind of where you gotta monitor stuff. So let's go ahead and hop back inside the cabin here and check it out and see where we're at on temp. All right, so we're heating up slowly but surely, but our operating temp is gonna be about anywhere between the 80 and 100 mark. And if it goes past that, we're gonna shut the engine off, but we're gonna monitor until that hits 80. We're gonna go up there and check the fluid and see if it dropped. And then from there, we'll make sure that we got all the air bubbles out. Going underneath the car, I don't see any leaks. We're looking pretty good down here. I'm gonna shine this, that's the residual coolant. We're not leaking here. So yeah, so far so good. All right, giving a little bit of rev to get these bubbles out. And all right, we're getting some heat. Awesome. Yeah, here we go, baby. Got some heat. So far, I don't see any bubbles in here, so we might get lucky. Either there's a lot of air in the system, or I don't know what, but we're gonna find out. All right, let's get the revs going. Let's get this system heated up, baby. Let's go, 80 degrees. Let's go. Let's get this thermostat working. Woo! We're getting up there in temperature, baby. We're getting there. Look at that, 80 degrees. Let's go. Let's get it to 80. Team 80. Let's go. Oh, all right. Come on. Let's go. Up. Up. Let's go. 80 degrees. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have officially entered the 80 degrees Celsius range. And yeah, this is going to be a fun one here. We're going to try to get the temperature up just a little bit more so we can lead this system. All right, let's check the temperature again. All right, we're seeing 180. That's about where we want to be. I mean, for not driving. I don't want to take this out on the road because it's kind of salty, but definitely higher than what I've seen before. I was running at 150 with the old thermostat, so that's a good sign. And there you have it, folks. We did a thermostat replacement on this and it was a great success. Luckily there wasn't any air in the system, and I'm hoping to drive it once the roads are kind of less salty. But be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on these videos. And I just love this car. This is just an amazing piece of automotive history, and it's crazy that in 2026 or we're in 2025. It's amazing that in 2025 that I could drive a car so mechanical and no computers. But anyways, yeah, I will catch you guys on the next video.